to my second painting update for 2023. This update covers everything I painted in January this year. As you can see, the main thrust of my painting in January was my American Civil War project. But I'm going to start with the fairly unsettling hand scenery from Wilhelm Miniatures that I got in a Kickstarter. So these are hand sculpted and cast in resin. Hand sculpted. See what I did there? They are, what are they? They're crosses between like fingers and terrain. So there's that bit there. There's this one. Yeah. And there's this one, which is like the big piece. I think they're brilliant in a grotesque, hideous way. I've just backed a second Kickstarter for some different ones of these, and if enough of us back it, there'll be some toes coming as well. So looking forward to that. Along with that is from a previous Kickstarter by the same chap. Is this creature who I think you just called Father. Anyway, apparently he lives out in the woods somewhere. So I painted him up at the same time. Obviously, pretty quick paint jobs, but just such I don't know, unsettling miniatures, I think. Right, with those put to one side, I feel a little more comfortable now. Let's carry on. So I managed to complete 3 infantry units for my American Civil War project. This seems to be fairly standard, I think. These units seem to take me between 6 and 7 days to complete, which is quite long compared to the Renaissance miniatures I was painting earlier and the Crimea ones. And it seems every month I manage to get about 3 done. So there's only 4 to go though, which is the good news. There's 2 more Confederates, 2 more Union, and then I got some skirmishers and obviously cavalry and guns. So let's start at the front here. Then we've got the 20th Maine with Colonel Chamberlain at the front. Again, metal figures from Redoubt. They come with separate rifle arms and a variety of separate heads, so you can have all kinds of different looking figures. The arms can be at different angles, whatever. The Chamberlain figure is a special figure, which is nice. Redoubt do a 20th Maine regiment set, where you get the other Chamberlain brother and the Irish sergeant, but they're in shooting poses because they're defending Little Round Top. So I wanted the advancing at the double pose for all my figures. Obviously a well-known regiment from film and TV. My second Union regiment is the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, another well-known unit from film and TV, because of course these are the troops shown in the film Glory. Again, Redoubt do a regimental pack where you get the appropriate heads. The flags for these come from GMB Designs, I think. Although Redoubt do supply flags, they're quite old now. I say quite old. When did they come out? They came out in the 90s, so they're very old now. Printing technology and design technology has moved on a step, and the GMB flags, and indeed Flags of War, who I got some of my flags for, are far superior. So I've been using them for this project. And then the third unit is a unit of Ragged Confederates. These guys are the 11th Mississippi, according to their flag. Volunteer regiment, of course. They're all volunteer regiments. So this is a special pack of Ragged Rebs. They've got holes in their uniforms, they got patches, except for the command, which is a standard command set. So this is the first of my ragged Confederates. I've got 2 more of these to do, who won't be quite as ragged. They won't have the patches, but they will be a mixture of uniform styles and colours. So this is your sort of standard Confederate look. I went for the uniformed ones first, and now I'm on to the sort of mass of these. So there we go. So that was the American Civil War progress, and as well as those, I did some scenery. Now, the first scenery bit I did was this artillery tower. It's massive and very heavy. I got this to be a major strong point for my Renaissance games. It was designed by Ian Weekly, and it was made out of the kind of expanded foam that he made his scenery in, but now you get it from Magister Militum, and it is solid resin, absolutely solid. There's no cavity inside it. They didn't put any object in to reduce the resin. It costs a bit. I forget how much it costs. It's about £40, something like that. And it's octagonal, and it's really nice. I made the door. It comes with a little door, so I made a bigger door out of coffee stirrers and, well, coffee stirrers actually. Since then, because the door it comes with was tiny, but since then I've seen one painted up with miniatures, and it actually looks okay, which is really strange how these things are deceptive. But I made a door, so whatever. So there it is. There's a little trapdoor on the roof, plenty of room for a gun, stuff, and yes, massive. I'm just going to move it a little bit to the side now. The very last thing I did in January was this river. I'm going to get to the river before I get to the buildings. So this is an S&A Scenics river, and I repainted it so it matches my my table, and it's a sort of pooey brown colour. I wanted a thinner, dirtier river for some settings. Quite by chance, I got this most of an old river set off eBay. This is the plywood versions, and in fact these are all plywood versions, I think. Oh no! And then to bulk it out to be an actual like full set, I got a brand new river section from S&A Scenics. The new ones are on MDF. I don't think they're quite as good, but I mean they follow the same plan. There's an article on my website about repurposing the wide river into a blue one. The upshot of my research back then and my efforts was that it is too much hassle to try and cut your own river templates when, for a very reasonable price, S&A Scenics does this solid, functional, minimalist one that is really quick to repaint. I did 17 pieces of this river pretty much in a day, which gives me about 9 feet, so about 3 meters of river, which is more than enough for my needs. And price-wise, it was very very reasonable, I think. So that again fills a sort of hole in my terrain collection that I'd identified at the end of last year. So this leaves the 2 buildings. These are scratch built. I made these out of cork tile. Start with this one because it's nearest. Coffee stirrers, cardboard, and some laser cut windows and doors from various different manufacturers. The doors come from Fenris. The window on the top there with the shutters comes from War Bases, and the other stuff I got off eBay. Roof tiles, I don't know where I got them from. Chimney pot is a bead. These are based on some wonderful buildings I saw made by Sidney Roundwood. His blog address will be on the screen now. He does this amazing swashbuckler game Three Musketeers kind of thing, with these tiny footprint buildings. These buildings are on 80 by 60 millimeter basis, same as my infantry, half an infantry unit, so tiny by my standards. But he made them really tall and exaggerated, and they look brilliant. So what I wanted was a Renaissance come fantasy set of buildings that didn't take up a huge amount of room for role playing and wargaming. So I started making these. There'll be a lot more, so these will come and go as necessary. This was the first one I made. So each one is different. They're all I'll do another, I don't know, and you see you can slot them right together. There's no overhangs, so they will just butt up. You can make kind of like a row house. And I'll do a few more. So I reckon about 4 of these tall ones. Next thing I'm making is planning to make is a clock tower, which will be a bit taller than these, and then I'll be doing some smaller buildings, shops and houses and what have you. It'll be a sort of mishmash of Sydney style buildings and kind of 80s, 90s sort of Warhammer style, half timbered fantasy stuff, which can be used for historical as well. There'll be nothing really ornately fantasy about it. There we go, start of what I hope will be quite a long running project, because I'm doing a few every so often. And that was it for January. 72 or 73 things, basically. Not a bad start to the year. Next month I'll be carrying on with the American Civil War. I will try and fit some other things in between, make it a bit more varied. Don't want to lose audience just because it's blue and grey. So they're little bits and pieces will find their way into it, I hope. So that's it. If you stuck with me this far, thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, leave a comment, usual stuff. And thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next time.